So you're looking for a new compact camera? You're in the right place. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from Sanremo, Italy, and today we're gonna talk about these compact cameras because they were also popular once in a while right now apparently they've been replaced by smartphones, but there is a niche of people who are still seeking for compact cameras. I was one of them because when I started the long Italian summer I want to have an EDC, so really compact but still with a good glass. I ended up with a Lumix, which is a 1-inch sensor. Not many limitations coming from the size of the sensors, but some limitations because we discussed already, I am a bit spoiled by full frame, not by the size of the sensor, but by the fact that the full frame camera normally is a more professional one. So when you are coming down to compromises with the size of the sensor, and this is not the case because if you're shooting with daylight we won't have any trouble, then you have to incur into compromises about many other aspects of that camera, and that is what might annoy you. But let's see step by step, because of course compact cameras at the moment as we speak, there are not so many. There is still the Sony RX100 series, now it's Mark 7 if I'm not wrong, and those are quite well priced because they give you a lot of alien technology, the same that you will find into the Xperia smartphones, and so with the same AF tracking and alien technology inside that camera, but with a 1-inch sensor that might help. It's compact enough to be in your pocket if you want to shoot stills or record videos 4K. That's a given. And then recently Leica also released the new Deluxe 8, which I'm still about to try. I'm so curious to see because not many things changed compared to the previous Deluxe 7 or the Lumix LX10 Mark II, and so there are not many big changes. It didn't improve the usability so much, but they improved the menu system. So now it is a little Q3 for the menu, not for the capabilities, but that's another choice, and it's even pricier than the Sony. And then we have the Lumix world. Lumix, they don't produce compact cameras anymore, so you will have to look for end of stock. This is the case. I found a good deal for my Lumix Lx15, Lx10 if you are in North America. It's the same camera with two different names, and I'm using since March. But since I'm compromising quite a lot, that might be the end for me about compact cameras. There are not many things I can complain about. Not the battery life, not the glass, it's a very good glass, not the color profiles inside the camera, not the RAW that I shot, either stills or videos. The only thing that I'm really missing, and in my workflow this has a great impact, is the lack of an EVF. Honestly, I didn't think it would be the case because when I was using the Pixie I was zone focusing and just directing the camera towards my subject, and for the framing it was more or less in my mind. But in this case it's a bit more complicated because first we are talking about a zoom range inside the lens, so it's a 24 to 70, 75 equivalent, and so this camera has a zoom range, and so the framing it's not so clear in my mind. I was used to using stills because when you go around and you use always the same focal length, then you start seeing the world in frames with that focal length, and so you really don't need an EVF. But this is the case with this Lumix. I will need an EVF, especially to double check the focus point, because this is not a reliable AF, and if you don't see when you're focusing, when you're out there in the sun, it might lead to disappointments. And so this was the case. I am very happy with using it in interiors for talking heads, like this is the case when I'm recording my YouTube videos, but it is not so reliable as a companion, as an EDC for the long Italian summer, because in Italy we have plenty of sunshine, and so this is the case. I had to take myself an ND filter to put in front of it for recording videos. For stills it's not needed, but still, for stills it only closes down to f11, so it's a great camera for interior, but if you have an EDC you use it outside most of the time. So what are we talking about? This is a great camera. It's compact and lightweight. As you can see, we have a tiltable flippy screen, so when needed for talking heads or for selfies, you flip it up and you see yourself in the rear screen. And then we have a zoom range, and then they didn't put it in the Leica Lx8 anymore, but you will have the chance to zoom at to given focal length. So when you are changing the focal length here, see, it goes directly into given steps: 42, 53, 75, 105, because I'm in video mode. But if we go back to shooting stills, as you can see, it's 28, 35, 50 and 70 and 24. And so this is something that really helps a lot when you're out there, because you don't have in between weird focal length. You go directly from 24 to 28 to 35 to 50, eventually 70. These are the ones that I use the most out there. And then we have also a good battery. We have this lace to hang it onto your wrist. We have plenty of function buttons. All right, see? We have menu. It's a very interesting camera. It's very well built. And then of course we have the f aperture ring on the glass, which is ideally what pushed me to purchase this model compared to other ones, because I'm an old school photographer. I want to manage the f aperture if possible, either with a ring on the glass or with the thumb or the front wheel here, as I was used to doing on my Nikon. And then eventually there might also be the help of the built-in flash. It's not so strong, but that will trigger stronger flashes if needed, so you can direct it where you need it and then eventually trigger bigger ones. It doesn't have any mic jack, and so that's the only real luck from this camera, together paired with the fact that it only closes down to f11. As you can see, many glasses, if they don't go down all the way to f22, at least they go down to f16, and so this is a luck for what is my workflow. And this is also why I didn't fall in love with this compact camera, despite I'm using it for a while, for a few months, and I have to say the results were not to be. There's nothing to complain about. Big changes are coming. I'm having the new step, the new generation EDC coming in 10 days more or less. Stay tuned, because I keep you posted. We will do the open box. I'm not disclosing yet what camera we're talking about. You might have a few hints if you watched my latest video. I was talking about the deal about the Sony A7R Mark III that was for a steal price here in Italy available, shipment and taxes included. It was a real steal price. End of stock, so a brand new camera but an ancient glory. But that is not the case. That is not what I ended up with, because I am still going around and traveling in Italy, so I still want a pocketable and lightweight choice, despite I'm not willing to compromise anymore when it comes down to framing and focusing. So with that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.